Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Please present yourself for the people watching and tell us what do you do.
I'm Jason Eisen. I'm the founder and CEO of UTU Technologies. UTU is an AI and blockchain company working in the trust space. So we're trying to bring a real-world model of trust to digital transactions. If you look at how people trust in the real world, everybody trusts pretty much in the same way based on who they know, their relationships, their family, their friends, themselves. Yet on the internet, we're asked to trust based on totally different things that have really nothing to do with how we trust in real life. So UTU as a company, our mission is to bridge that gap between real world and digital trust.
What are the biggest challenges you meet?
So there's a lot of challenges around trust. One is that we're going against probably 25 years of history of how trust has been implemented on the internet, basically since 1995 when eBay introduced 5-star ratings and open review fields. Not much innovation has happened in the area of trust since then, and it's things that has become a foregone conclusion. This is how we tackle trust. Oh, just slap some 5-star ratings and some reviews. But these things are so disconnected with the real-world experience of trust. So trying to change that digital paradigm of how we think about trust is a big challenge. And then anytime you're dealing with something like this, the service is going to be data hungry. And so understanding how do you structure your data acquisition and the ownership and privacy rights of that data to be able to deliver that really great trust experience without compromising people's data privacy or ownership or security, any of these things. So these are some of the challenges for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Can you tell me what was the most exciting for you today?
The most exciting thing for us about this conference, I get really excited, maybe not less so by the technical talks. I'm not so technical, but Luca's talk where he really helps you understand the long time scale of disruption. We're so used to thinking about things daily. You know, you look in the mirror every day, you see yourself, you don't look any different from the day before. But now over 5 years, you look at a picture from 5 years ago and you're, oh, I'm fat and bald and things like this. And when you step back from the day-to-day is when you can get a big picture of the arc of technological innovation. And I think Luca's presentation does such a great job of helping you step back and see how disruption happens and maybe where we are on that curve with decentralized technology. So that was a great talk for me.
Speaking of which, in your opinion, what is your prediction for 2020? What will be the most exciting thing that is to come in the blockchain space?
Well, I'm a little bit biased, but I would have to say probably some of the work that UTU is doing in delivering trust infrastructure into both the centralized and decentralized economies. So in 2020, we're expecting to launch some really large-scale commercialization projects with pretty large clients around Africa in the insurance sector, the lending sector. And the exciting thing about our tech is that it's a pretty foundational piece of infrastructure, and it has applications across almost every sector. And 2020 seems like it's poised to be a breakout year for us. So I guess that's probably my personal most exciting thing, yeah.
Which areas actually you're trying to disrupt?
Yeah, we see, I mean, given that we work on trust, we see almost every sector as being affected or impacted in some way by trust. You can think of trust as the corollary to risk. So the more risk I feel in a transaction, the more I've better trust in that transaction. So whether that risk is financial risk, physical risk, health risk, emotional risk, family risk, any of these things. So whether you're using a platform to hire a nanny or a doctor or a housekeeper or money lender, anything that's accessing or exposing your home, your health, your family, your business, or your assets to any sort of risk, these are things that trust, and especially this human model of trust based on personal relationships and recommendations, is super powerful in helping consumers feel less fear and feel more comfortable to make those purchases or transactions.
Yes. Something curious I would like to ask you. Do you have someone that you can recommend us to follow on the social media? Somebody that you admire and you think that if you follow them, you can stay up to date?
Yeah, I guess I really love Sherman Lee from Raven Protocol. I think Sherman has some of the best insights on the market. He's always approaching these problems from a very human perspective. None of the kind of hype or whatever. He gets down to what's the real value of this. So that's one of my favorites is Sherman. And then I would say in the African context, I'm a big fan of the African Digital Assets Framework, which is an open source group trying to build decentralized blockchain standards for the African continent. And so their social media is pretty fantastic as well, the work that they're doing to unite African countries on common blockchain standards.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And my last question for you is, which is your favorite crypto city in the world?
My favorite crypto city in the world. I'd have to say Nairobi at the moment. That's where I live most of the time, and it's incredible what you can do nowadays with crypto in Nairobi. People don't necessarily, if they're not familiar with Nairobi, they maybe wouldn't think that Kenya has such an advanced blockchain crypto scene, but in fact, there's a restaurant you can go and have like a traditional fish and pay with crypto.
Is it?
Even in our product, many people are now about to start using crypto to pay for taxi rides, for different things. So the adoption is coming up, and even we have some big success stories of Kenyan companies working in crypto, especially for, say, remittances, international remittances, and things like this. When you have high transaction costs to get money in and out of the country, you have a lot of barriers. And so the Kenyan scene when it comes to crypto is super progressive, and there's projects being developed out of Nairobi that I can say are not being done anywhere else, or with maybe the twist that we have in Nairobi. So yeah, Nairobi all the way.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, thank you very much, Jason.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure.